Welcome back to study sessions. Today, let us begin with the first chapter in biology for class 8, crop production and management. These are the topics we need to cover: meaning of crop and types of crops, agricultural implements, agricultural practices, food from animals. So let's start the chapter. We all know that there are three basic needs of man: food, clothing, and shelter. Of these three needs, the most important one is the food. So we get food from agriculture. What exactly is agriculture here? In science, it is a branch of biology that deals with practice of cultivation of crops and rearing of animals. So here, crops are cultivated. So what is a crop? Crops are same kind of plants which are grown at one place on a large scale. As you can see here, there are two pictures. One picture is of a paddy crop. The second one is of the wheat crop. Now in India, based on seasons, we have divided the crops into two types. The first one is kharif crops. Second is rabi crops. The kharif crops are the crops which are grown in rainy season, that is June to September, whereas the rabi crops are grown in winter season, October to March. The examples of kharif crops are paddy, maize, cotton, and groundnut. So these are the examples of kharif crops. So these crops, now the examples of rabi crops are wheat, gram, pea, and linseed. These are the examples of rabi crops. These are grown in the winter season. To grow the crops, we need some implements, that is tools. We call it as agricultural implements. The first one is the plow. This is very useful for loosening the soil. And the second picture here is that of a hoe. So hoe is used in removal of weeds. The third picture is a traditional tool for sowing the seeds. As you can see here, this is the tool which is used for sowing the seeds. This tool has a funnel shaped container which runs down to a long tube into the soil through which the seeds are sown. The next tool is tractor driven cultivar. Now for large area of land, we use this agricultural tool. It's very useful because it brings in uniformity in loosening and also tilling of the soil. So these implements can be used for carrying out agricultural practices. Now what are the agricultural practices? What exactly is this? As you can see here, these are the tasks which are taken up by a farmer over a period of time to cultivate the crops. If a farmer intends to cultivate a crop, it could be a kharif crop or a rabi crop, he needs to take up these tasks in order to bring in a good harvest. So there are about 7 practices. The first one is preparation of soil, sowing, adding manure and fertilizers, irrigation, protection from weeds, harvesting, and storage. So these practices have to be taken up by a farmer in order to cultivate a crop. That's all for today, students. In the next session, we'll study in detail about these agricultural practices. Follow for more.